The moment I stop remembering how it feels to be a consumer in the real estate industry, the moment I stop tapping in to how it feels to be a consumer, I'm out.
On this episode of All In with Jim, I'm joined by Kristine Milkovich for an in-depth conversation about authenticity, service, and what it takes to be all in for your clients and your community. Kristine gets real about her journey from a long corporate career in beauty and education to building a successful real estate business rooted in relationships, trust, and real human connection. We also talk about today's dynamic market, the emotional side of buying and selling a home, and why remembering what it feels like to be a consumer is the most important part of the business. If you're in real estate, thinking about buying a home, or simply love hearing stories about resilience, leadership, and doing business with heart, this is an episode you won't want to miss. I'm here with Kristine Milkovich. Thank you, Kristine, for taking some time. I know you're extremely busy. If anything, one of the most busiest people I know with all the different things you're involved in. Oh my gosh, I was thinking about how to introduce you, and I can't even begin to list some of the amazing work that you do and some of the associations you're a part of. So without me doing that, how about yourself? Would you like to share, for those that don't know you, I would encourage you to look into this, but Kristine, tell us a little bit about what you're involved in, what you do, and give us some background.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here. This is a true honor and a privilege to be sitting down with one of my favorite people that I've been able to get to know over the last few years through our work together and through the industry and through your company. So first of all, leading with gratitude. Thank you for giving me this space. So I'm gonna answer that by first making a comment, because it's not the first time I've heard somebody in my immediate world or in my sphere say, you know, you seem like a really busy person. And the reality is, my busy is no bigger, faster, fuller, richer, more important than your busy. Mm-hmm. I think that when we make the decision to spend time in the environments that feed us, that light us up, when we give of heart, time, resources, and service to organizations, you alluded to that earlier, when we show up for our work, our family, our clients, you know, our communities, it takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and it takes a lot of work. But I'm kind of reframing myself, Jimmy, especially this year with my own internal work, that, you know, I understand how if somebody was maybe following my social or being at events where I see them, where it could be perceived that I'm a very busy person. And that's fine. There's no shame in that game. But I want to leave a legacy, and I want to make a footmark. Where is my busy meaning something?
That's right.
Is my busy adding up to impacting people's lives and ultimately also mine?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Love
but
it.
I'm no busier than you or anyone else. Everybody's got full plates in this modern contemporary world. I don't think anybody has a get out of jail card, personally.
And as you'll learn from Kristine here, she is a very modest and humble person and professional, which is what makes her great amongst many traits. And you speak to what gives you meaning and what's meaningful to you, what impact. Share a little bit about that. What are you involved in that is giving you some of this great meaning? And
That's given me the busy, right?
Yeah.
What is that? Well, you know, first of all, you know, my family. I mean, we all pump out and put in these hours, including you, right? I think if you're a working person today, there's no get out of jail card on that. But, you know, I have a spouse, I have a wife, her name is Chris, and I have an amazing sister whom I've been in business with for many years, named Lisa Milkovich. I have a little French dog named Panda, and a sidekick of his named Braxton. That keeps my life pretty full and crazy right out of the gate. But in addition to that, you know, I run a real estate sales organization. We're the Milkovich team. You know, not aggressively original, as we just branded our family last name. But what is original is how we show up and the service we provide, and the contract and skill excellence that we are really committed to bringing forward in our team. And I chair on 2 boards, community, and really, to me, acts of service is one of my North Stars. It's one of my, you know, when people say, what's your compass?
Yeah.
And I'll just give those 2 a shout out since you're allowing me.
Absolutely.
I'm the board chair president for a 501c fair housing organization called The Alliance. We're in about 39 states, just about 4 years young. And people can look it up online, but the short version is we go out on the streets, do programs, do events, do fundraisers, and advocate for fair housing in general. Our platform is in general, but we are a LGBTQ plus forward-focused organization.
Yeah.
And you have so graciously come to my events and given of heart, time, and service. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes.
And then the second one, because I got to be, a fair mom here. I also chair as the board president for a, well, it used to be called the Senior Center of West Seattle, but it turns out even seniors don't want to be called a senior. So we did a brand refresh, and it is now the Center for Active Living. And it's in West Seattle. It's OG. It's been around for 53 years.
A lot of history.
They call it the Jewel of the Junction because it impacts people's lives in that way. And so that's a little bit about, how does my busy get cooked up every day? Those are a couple of ways.
It's busy, but it's meaningful to you. And that's what I think is really different when we separate what is work, what is busy versus what is passion.
Yeah.
And, the theme of this for my amazing guests that join me is really what makes you all in. And so I think you encompass that so well in terms of not just the business you do, what you're a part of, the affiliations, how you serve your clients. So it's really impressive. And my friend and colleague, Dawn Crownover, she also is such a big part of these associations with you. So give a quick little shout out to Dawn here that you speak about the Center for Active Living.
Yep. She's come at my table at my events many years over.
So wonderful. And that's how we met. And I'm very, very grateful for that because you and your sister Lisa are just some of the best people I know in the area. So on the note of all in, kind of tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into real estate, because Kristine has a really, really cool, interesting story. She came from more of a corporate world and then decided, let's go sell some real estate. So tell us a little bit about that.
I don't know. I'm just kind of crazy and weird enough to do such a thing. I'm finding over the years, so to your point, Jimmy, I'm going into my 14th year in real estate. And again, my sister and colleague and original team creator, 24 years. So I didn't just roll out of bed saying, I want to be a real estate agent, and people do. And I think that's amazing. There's no shame in that game.
Absolutely.
I mean, I have some colleagues and
I came out of the womb and I said, I want to sell mortgages. My mom asked what I was going to do, and I said, I'm going to be a mortgage broker.
What I'm going to do.
Gosh, it was my calling in life, apparently.
Sometimes people know their path. And, I think nowadays, I think my friends in HR, they say when things come across their desk, to be quite frank, since we're going there, like hiring managers, hiring executives, and it's somebody, of a mature adult age that's been like, I've done this one thing for 40 years. Sometimes that can almost feel adverse, but the thing of it is, even if you're somebody that's done something for 40, 30 years, chances are you've won 5 million, worn a bunch of hats, right? That's the point. You grow, you develop, you're a new version of yourself because you're growing in your trade.
Exactly.
So for me, I was in the beauty, cosmetic, corporate business world for 24 years. And I'm going to really age myself. Great lighting you have in this room.
Yes, exactly.
But, long story short, I'll make it brief. I was in that world. And like I said, in that world, in 24 years, I wore about 5 hats. I was a working creative hairdresser behind a chair. I was a state educator for some top leading brands owned by L'Oreal. Then I got tapped to be my boss's backfill in that role. And then I became the director of education and training for 17 states in the U.S. And, it was a big job. I was on an airplane 75% of the time.
Oh my gosh.
I, had direct reports and was on the streets and worked for a big Fortune 500 company called L'Oreal. So that's kind of my past life. And then I got laid off.
Got it.
That was a vintage year.
Yeah.
I was going through a massive breakup with an interpersonal relationship and got laid off from what I call my first and primary career.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit, this is not such a great year, it turns out. So, you pivot.
Yeah.
Right? Any of us, anybody watching this, anybody that catches this, there is going to always be a time in life. That's one of the guarantees, at least how I see it sitting in this chair. We will always be met with adversity, surprises, and the need to pivot and make a different choice. And
you
so
had to adapt to
guess
it.
what? I
And
did.
here you are.
I got into real estate with my sister, Lisa Milkovich, almost 14 years ago.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And that's such an important story to share, and thank you for that, because it's often our journeys are personal. I think by the time we get to where we are in this industry, like you said, Kristine, it's not like we just go to college and get a degree to go be a real estate professional or a mortgage professional. We somehow find a way, our paths to get here.
Yeah.
And then when we get here, one of my favorite questions to ask is, what keeps you here?
Mm.
And what is it? What's your passion? What gives you the joy? Because we all need it. This is not an easy business. It's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
But we're all in it, and we're in it for reasons. What is yours?
Boy, I don't think we could have set up this interview in a more real, timely manner. So I just came off of a 2-day retreat with my brokerage, and the owner and the culture and the ethos there is such that is a priority once a year, like many organizations, to lock ourselves in Blaine, Washington, to be specific, and really talk about.
They really put you out there, huh?
They really put us out there. There is no getting away. We're going to go right on the border of Canada.
Like I'm thinking, where do I put that in the map
your
here?
Butt in this room.
Yeah. Okay.
But the reason I'm even suggesting that is because I just got back like yesterday. I mean, this is real talk.
Good.
And so for 2 days, we were analyzing really the fundamentals of what you're just asking. What keeps you all in? What keeps you getting out of bed when you're having those really tough days? And, it had me reflecting, and, the number one thing is I have the opportunity to be a very high level problem solver. I get hired and get paid to take care of problems. Now, that's not a super slick, sexy answer, because the reality is I get to do 8 million other really cool things, like marketing, like pricing strategy, like building relationships, like doing things like this. But at the end of the day, when I get out of bed, my North Star is my clients, they have a pain body. whether they have it today, whether they know they have it, or whether they're going to have it in a week, there is something that is going on in their life that they called on me for.
Yeah.
And we know, you live it every day. Those why they pick up the phone and call could be getting married, getting a divorce, creating a beautiful human called having a baby, having a death in the family, having multi-generational family planning, an illness. So, when I'm challenged with being all in, when I'm like, damn, this is a hard business. I don't know if I have the chops to keep going. Imposter syndrome off the chain. I mean, like on the regular.
You wear well, Kristine.
On the regular.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be lying if I sat here and didn't bring that up. But the answer to the question is ultimately, I am being called on to be a really skilled, compassionate, kind, smart problem solver.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Amazing.
That's actually how I make my living.
And and coming from the corporate world, I'm sure they try to frame that to be a solution provider, right? So
here's your area of opportunity.
This is your.
That was a big one, L'Oreal.
This is our opportunity.
Review time. You're crushing it, but here's the laundry list of areas of opportunity.
Did you miss some of that corporate stuff?
I mean, here's the deal. The reality is, Jimmy, and that's why you're doing these sets. I have to do that now to myself.
That's right.
I mean, that's the thing, like about being busy and all that. I mean, are we adults here? Are we allowed to cuss? It's like a little bit of that.
You should see my next coming social media post. I just showed it.
Yeah,
I
mean, and I don't mean to say it this way to be cavalier, but like kind of like same shit, different day is yes, when you work for corporate or you have a boss, right? A technical boss. Their job is to watch production, make sure, hopefully, if they're a smart leader and a smart boss, how to keep you around, and how to keep growing you. Well, guess who has to do that now? Right? I mean, it doesn't stop. It's just how do we reframe it?
And that's such a great topic to draw on. We are our own boss.
We are our own bosses.
Right? I mean, so what does that look like in your world? What do you do? What are your disciplines? What do you do to create this accountability to yourself?
Yes. Well, I'm going to encapsulate it in one word, and by no stretch have it down. I will take trying to get it down to my grave. I can assure you of that. Systems and structure. Systems and structure. Because, I mean, if it could be as benign as having the right CRM, to having the right team and staff in place to support you, to, you know, wanting to not let down the people I love, you know, that takes system and structures, you know, certain things my wife expects of me as a partnership or in our home, or things that, you know, my family or my aging mother needs from me. I mean, the answer is actually the same. If I don't have systems and structures and accountability in my life in all regards, how could I ever possibly keep the busy going?
It's true.
Right? I'm going to keep going back to that word. And again, I just can't say it enough because it kind of makes me twinge a little bit. My busy isn't more important than anybody's busy. It's just, how am I keeping the cogs in the wheel going? How am I being masterful at like keeping it all together?
It's a common response to any high performing professional, especially in our industry, where we get called on at all hours of night. We went out we had a team event and you're on a call at 8 o'clock at night. And that's what we do for our clients. And it's what makes you so successful in your business and with your clients. Is there anything else with your clients or that you incorporate into your structure or what you do to help create that experience for them that you can speak to? Because ultimately, I think that's one of the amazing super strengths of Kristine and the Milkovich team is your connectivity to your clients and how you build these relationships. Is there something you can share or you add that helps that?
Yeah, you know, this was also touched on this retreat I just went to, and big props to the keynote speaker that kept impressioning this upon us, is we can all bring about data, well, I shouldn't say all. You should be, as a respected professional, bringing about data and stats and market share and education and knowledge. But at the end of the day, and there's a very famous saying about this, how are people feeling when you leave their presence? How you make me feel, Jimmy, when I'm around you, when I'm in your presence, when I'm amongst your energy, that's what I'm going to leave with. It makes an impression on me. So I could sit here and give you, you know, here's our CRM, here's our checklist. This is how many times I talk to my assistant every day. I mean, yeah, I have all that. I mean, again, working at making it better every minute, but I have it. That's how I'm able to be a high producing person or professional or human. But if I'm not doing something different that sets me apart, then that's just plug and play. So how do my clients feel? How do they feel when I talk to them? How do they feel when I follow through? How do I feel when I work to meet their expectations? That's really, I think that's a change maker. That's a game changer.
And it's so true because I think what's the adage? People make decisions based on feelings, or there's a saying that speaks to when people make big decisions.
And like that emotional feeling.
And it still exists even in the digital world we're in, and as we start to evolve and having AI, all these different advances that we're experiencing. At the end of the day, we're still human, right?
Last time I checked, I mean, I don't know. Chat GTP.
We're gonna have to figure out.
As my colleague calls his Gael, like everybody's got their like lover name for their
Have you changed the voice
Chat
at all?
GTP. I'm so boring.
Oh
and,
yeah.
Like I need to get with the program. I'm like the last one to have like an actual special sweet name for my Chat GTP account. But you know, you touch on a really important point. I think now more than ever, to underscore, because of all this great stuff that we're using to help efficiency, right? I mean, AI right now, today, it could change tomorrow. It's just about efficiency. I mean, like nobody's going to win in a multiple offer in Bellevue on a house. Like I'm going to do that. I'm a human with tenure and skill, and I know how to get on the other side of that.
And relationships.
Of that pain. And relationships. But, you know, the day that AI can do that, well, that's a different game. We're all going to be swimming upstream. So I think now more than ever, how we take care of people and how they feel by who we are to them is, I mean,
it's amazing.
That allows you to be an outlier today, because if someone's just plugging and playing with technology, I mean, how's that going to work out?
Exactly. And that's such an important concept of how we do our business, how we set the relationship up front. And to your credit and to Lisa, your sister, I mean, you guys just have a way about connecting with your clients and that really creates these deep relationships, and it keeps it going. Because I mean, you can probably speak to how many repeat clients do you get? I mean, your clients, they come back to you.
Well,
so tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's something when I'm asked in my interview process, we share is, and I think it's important when you're defining how to brand yourself, be it a onesie, a team of 2, or a party of 26. What are those differences that you can talk to or share with people? And one of the things that we share when we're asked is we have never paid 1 penny for an online referral. Now, that's not to shame my brother, sister, they, thems that are throwing hundreds of dollars a month at referral partners. That's fine. If that's your model and it works and that's putting food on the table and you're taking great care of people, you do you. But we have not ever had to do that. That isn't our model. Our model is we work our database. We love on our relationships. And the goal is to then get, the gifts of that, which is having 100% referral-based business.
And when you build that experience and your clients remember that, just like us in the lending world, when you go through this process of buying a home, we talked about the emotional connection.
Oh my God. Well, I just did it with your team and your company, Dawn, in Montana. I mean, exactly. I'm not removed. I'm a consumer too.
We're a part of it too.
Just did it.
Yeah. And so thank you for that, because I think it's such a great, important reminder to all of our folks that are watching this, your audience, whether they're your friends, colleagues, other professionals, it's why we do what we do, why we're all in on this business, because it's not for the faint of heart.
Oh.
And so,
man, you have to have tough skin.
You do, right?
Sheesh.
It's not like you walk in and buy a pair of sneakers and you're out.
Well, the reality, and I just want to just go a little deeper on what you just said, because it's so fiercely important, is, one of my mentors, he helped me reframe this, because I used to really lean in on, and just even my own psyche, like, you know what, I get most of the hires that I go interview for. But the reality is, and the truth is, the transparency is, I haven't gotten them all. I haven't gotten every single time somebody calls and says, my sister says you're the best thing since sliced bread. Get on over here to Starbucks. My husband and I want to interview you. And guess what? We got 3 more of you coming right after you. I mean, that is the reality.
Everyone's got a person.
That is the reality today.
Yes.
So I've stepped away from, it's not about, again, going back to imposter syndrome. You certainly need to lean in on your laurels and your education and your skill and how you treat people. But the reality is, I haven't gotten every single interview I've gone on. And so you have to step away, or I should say I choose to step away and go, what could I have done different? Was there something that was amiss? Or at the end of the day, Milkovich, was it just not a love match?
Yeah.
My wife likes to say sometimes rejection is protection.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Sometimes rejection is protection. Maybe that hire would have been, you would have never hit the mark for them. Or maybe it would have been some challenges that you couldn't have seen coming. I mean, we don't know, right? But the reality is, we don't always get, every single one we go for.
This is another good topic. So when we're talking about either disappointment or loss or rejection or any of these challenges, shame. I mean,
it's another new one.
We go through all of it. I mean, this is a business where we take it personally.
Oh yeah.
Right. So what's
wrong with me? Did I not have the right outfit on? Did I say the wrong thing? Or my joke's that bad? I mean, right? I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
The hamster wheel goes real good in my brain.
Just as much as people make emotional decisions, we're thinking, what did we do different or wrong? What could we have done? So how do you overcome that? Like, is there a process? Is there just are you just like a major league pitcher that says, hey, someone hit a home run, I got to get back up and throw the next pitch? What's like your mindset to get through that?
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, I can rock in the corner like the best of them, and I mean, a scotch doesn't hurt now and again in a hamburger. I mean, if I'm going to really be honest here.
Some Jameson?
You know it. Don't even, that's a whole nother
Is it too
interview.
Early yet? We'll see.
But, all truth be told, for me, I'll just go straight from the heart answer. It stings. It hurts it hurts. It stings. I'm like, damn it, I prepared for 2 hours. I came with my best game.
Yeah.
I really feel like I made them the hero. It wasn't about me. They were the focus. I mean, I go through the whole head thing. I used, all the training I've gotten. It's not about me, Milkovich. It's about the person in front of you. So I just evaluate. And if there was something askew, if it was like, what, I didn't bring out that right report, or what, Kristine, the top 3 pain bodies they gave you in the intake call, damn it, you left that coffee table without hitting them. I just evaluate. And if it was like, what, I got to get back up, brush the dust off, do it better next time. Or sometimes I go through that checklist and it's like, no, I can earnestly sit here and say, that was a home run. I felt like I crushed it. I felt like there was energy, there was a connection, it was real. And maybe I blinked wrong. Maybe they didn't like the smell of my hair product. I mean, you just don't know.
You just don't know.
You just don't know. But you got to just keep up and evaluate. Evaluate, move on would be my answer.
Yeah.
Evaluate, move on. Evaluate, move on.
But this also, if I can give some credit to Kristine, it speaks to the passion you have for your business, for your clients, that you're so fiercely trying to assess what you could have done better. So I think that's really important for anybody in this industry to recognize that because you still have that passion, because you still want to evaluate and then move on, you're not just moving on. Like, you're taking the time to figure out, what could I do to get better?
It's interesting. I was in a podcast about 2 years ago, and one of the questions was like, what is your North Star? And to what you just said, the moment I stop remembering how it feels to be a consumer in the real estate industry, the moment I stop tapping in to how it feels to be a consumer, I'm out. And honestly, giving props right back to you and your team and your company here and your colleague, Dawn, I was just in it. You all helped me just get a loan for a house, for an investment property in another state with my spouse. I mean, this is real talk. This isn't made up. I was just in the consumer seat. So the moment I stop sort of analyzing everything through that lens, I'm out. It's time for me to get out, because I have no heart, I have no passion, I have no honesty anymore, honestly.
And people can see right through that. I think authenticity, and that's part of what we wanted to showcase here, is getting deep and getting to get to know you as a professional, as a human, as a person, and helping to showcase the authenticity of it. And like you said, when you're going through the process, even though we're in the industry, it's still scary.
It's still painful.
Right? Scary and painful.
I mean, I'm thinking, when I'm filling out the forms and, Dawn's after me and escrow and, we all have busy lives. I'm like, oh my God, I'm just like a typical client. I'm a hot mess. Escrow has to run after me. I'm like, what am I, like a child here? And you realize, how many times are we serving our clients and we forget their pain bodies?
That's right.
We forget that they're at work and having kids and spouses and an illness and traveling and, down to like cleaning the toilet, like all the unglamorous things that keep our lives going, right? It's a lot.
It is.
And then to throw buying a house in there, your most expensive purchase of your entire life.
Yep.
It's bananas. So,
and that's why people need to work with professionals like Kristine or Kristine themselves, because you can tell through this the deep level of commitment and passion they have for your clients. So credit to you. Well, let's shifting gears a little bit, because obviously we want to know from an industry expert, someone who's been doing this for 14 plus years, brilliant in all different levels. What do you see about the market? What's your opinion of the market these days, in your vantage point, whether it be from the buying side, the listing side? Share a little bit about that with us.
It starts with a D, and I'm going to say capital. It is more dynamic today than I've ever seen in my entire tenure. My colleague and sister of 24 years, it's the same word we use. We just talked about it the other day. And that may seem a bit ambiguous. I'm going to go deeper on the answer, but it is what worked 3 months ago, 2 years ago, the game that was played 10 years ago. It is just, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about earning your pay, earning your keep has gone to another level. So I'll get a little bit more like, what does that really mean?
Yeah.
it's like Jekyll and Hyde. We had a gorgeous Puget Sound Drive, West Seattle property, did all the, what we call the Milkovich team magic, hired by seller, listing. And exactly what we believe would happen from all that work and what we told our seller would happen, guess what? It did.
Yeah.
We got, double-digit walkthroughs on Saturday, Sunday open house. We got multiple offers. It escalated. It was the heat. It was all the things. But here's the reality. 2 doors down, our other Milkovich team listing, I mean, it's like slow dying. Like, what is, I mean, down to like, is the MLS key box actually not working? I went there the other day and I'm like, this has got to be a tech thing. Like, this shit's
What's
crazy.
the method?
Like, somebody is actually like, the MLS key box has got to not be working. Like, there's no other answer.
That's the only explanation.
There's no other answer.
Yeah.
Nope, that shit's working. I just tested it. Nope, that's not it.
That's amazing.
It is literally like, what is going on? So again, back to being transparent, like, I'm working on living from that place every day in all of my life, but in something like this where we're talking to an audience of colleagues, like anybody that's not saying that, and I don't care if you're doing 60 million or 1 deal a year, the reality is you have to be so precise, so exact, so button up, so sure about your game and your data and how you're playing it.
Yeah.
Now more than ever.
It's so true.
That's my answer. And I don't know if that's even answering your question, but
well, I'm going to challenge you a little bit because I think the word dynamic is such a great word to put towards the market. We in the industry are trying to find what is it? What does it mean? How do we strategize around that?
How do we work around that word?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is there anything you can point to that's really causing, or maybe anything that kind of creates the dynamic nature of it? That you can kind of talk about?
I mean, I can give you, I'm going to say sort of, news at 10, they're not canned, it's a reality, but they feel canned because it's things we cannot control. So here's how I'm going to answer this. Things like, there's a war going on right now, side note. We have massive upheaval in people's, just the core of their emotional stability right now. And I don't care what side you're on, what your beliefs are, it doesn't matter. Exactly. It's all a hot mess.
Uncertainty.
All a hot mess. So that's 2. Number 3 is we are still coming out of what I call rate amnesia. I really should register that.
I like that.
I am going to give myself some credit.
Can you please trademark that?
Actually be smarter businesswoman.
Because as a mortgage guy, I have not heard that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Rate amnesia. I actually talk to my clients this way in my interviews, and I watch my tongue, and I learn, and I know my audience. But the bottom line is, I don't care if you're a first-time home buyer, you've done it 20 times, myself included. I just did it. We are still shutting off rate amnesia from the COVID years. So that would be answer 3. And number 4. We have to figure out how to do a better job of telling the story of, do you want to keep making your landlord wealthy? Do you want to keep building other people's generational wealth? Do we want to figure out how we can get you on the train? And this is where your team, and specifically Dawn, comes in. I say, you can't get on the Dawn train too soon, because when you get on the Dawn train, this is what happens. You create a plan. You get coaching. You have a consultant talking to you about what the next play is. And I think that the answer, and this is answer 4, is that we have to do a better job at helping people front load and understand how to be prepared to buy homes and sell homes.
Education, right? And we speak to that at the Mortgage Bankers Association and on the real estate side. I think there's such a lack of meaningful education surrounding what it is to own real estate. How do you get there? How do you develop a plan? How do you strategize around it? And like you said, the stats are there. The data, everything.
You can go online and get that.
Everything shows you that the fastest path to building wealth is through real estate.
Correct.
But in terms of also just what it means to own versus rent, I remember moving here, and it was like, I had this fancy apartment building, and it's like, it was like a hotel.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to buy. But then like 2 or 3 years later, after I'm spending $3,000 a month in rent,
You're like, this is a sexy apartment, but it's not going to do nothing for me when I'm 60, right?
And that's something we try to share on our side of it is, you don't need 20% down.
That's right.
You don't, there are,
Amen to that.
there are,
Let's
there
just
are
say that
ways.
again.
Yes. You don't
Amen
need
to that.
20% down. Save some money.
Demystify number one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get folks to understand that, you know, you don't need to have a huge, large nest egg of savings to buy real estate. You just need to have the right people to talk to.
Well, and to the other point, this goes back to some of the fair housing advocacy work that I'm very passionate about. You know, there are 1,000,001 barriers and reasons that many of us, you're looking at one right now, that has had zero platform of generational wealth.
Yeah.
I come from a family that wasn't home buyers, home investors, you know, and I'm just being really raw and super transparent right now. I'm one of them.
Yeah.
And whether it's, you know, from race discrimination, from sexism, from just, you know, all the things, coming from a background where that isn't your platform. You actually didn't get the training wheels to run as fast, maybe as the next human, because you didn't come from that platform. And that's part of why I'm so passionate about my community work, is there is still a way to figure out how can I get on that train. It may take longer, it may be more painful, but let's get you in front of the right professionals where we can figure out if there is a solution, if there is a path to get on.
It's what makes you so special, because it's so true. When you connect with somebody who has a shared experience or hasn't had that you know, sort of landing pad of,
it could be a leg up. I
A
mean,
leg
it could be
up,
as simple
whatever
as
it
just
might
that
be.
could be how someone feels. And that doesn't mean that people that have parents that can throw down $60,000, $100K to help you buy a home. No shame in that game. I'm going to look at every camera. No shame in that game. You do you. And I am so proud of you and happy for you. But that is not every person's reality.
That's right.
And I think the more that we can have empathy and compassion and leadership around that, man, that you're helping so many people figure it out.
and this is such a passionate part of both, I think, our shared, you know, whys behind this business, is because everyone deserves it. Everybody has equitable
Home is
stake,
home.
right? You deserve
home.
as a human being to have the opportunity to own where you live.
Yep. Your roof over your head is the very first security blanket. I mean, really, it's the place that I think we all feel the most we hope that we feel at peace and safe at. Yeah.
And I think about this because when we talk about like what keeps us in the business, what gets us energized, and I have some stories I can share, but this is about you. So is there any client, just on this note, just because I think it's such a great way to showcase, any client, any experience you'd like to share with us about what it was like helping this person or this family buy a home? Anything that comes to mind there? Right? I mean, you have hundreds, I'm sure. But I think that's such a great way to share, because I think it's important to really showcase what it is you do and how you help people.
Yeah, thank you. It's such a privilege and an honor to be asked that question. I have a number, but I'm going to bring it down to one that just has warmed my heart and has gotten me out of bed on the imposter days.
Yeah.
I'll make it brief, but there's a quick arc. So I think a lot of times we talk about first-time home buyers. For one, it's a challenge, especially in this market. There's a lot of barriers. It's a really great storytelling piece of our business. But I'm going to go flip side. I had a very mature couple, spouses, husband and wife. They were then in their mid-70s. This is almost 15 years ago, so you can do the math. And one just recently passed, but I'm going to quickly share the story. They picked me up in open house. So it wasn't a referral. Nobody in their community said, you can trust this woman, she's going to do right by you, call her. Nope.
Wow.
I was working an open house on Beacon Hill at a Milkovich team listing. The couple came in, and as you do at open houses as a listing agent, you're certainly there to provide service to your boss. In that case, is your seller. But you're also there to pick up buyers, right? I mean, duh.
It's like that's
part of what you're supposed to be doing.
That's right.
And so I, engaged with them, and we had some pleasantries, but it wasn't, when I think back, it wasn't this overwhelming, like, oh my God, that was a great connection. They took my card, they left, life went on.
Yeah.
They had just moved to the area from the East Coast. They took on an apartment, right? They were in their 70s. They took on a gorgeous, lovely high-rise apartment in downtown. Life was great. Nothing was particularly broken. But they got to thinking, well, we were homeowners on the East Coast. Well, we are a mature couple. This might be kind of smart to maybe buy something. Let's do that again. And 3 months later, Never heard from them. I mean, and I followed up like a text or whatever I did. Never heard from them. 3 months later, they called and they said, and I will leave the company out of this interview. And they said, Kristine, you probably won't remember us. And I was like, oh, quite the contrary. And I just said, I was like, you guys were so charming and warm. I remember you're from the East Coast.
Yeah.
You told me all about you moving here. And they said, we had the worst experience of our lives with the broker that was helping us when we went to your Beacon Hill open house. Yeah. You were so warm and kind. You talked about the industry. You talked about the home. We really got the impression that you know what you're doing and that you love what you're doing. And we would like to interview you to be our buyer broker.
Aw, that's amazing.
So I got him into a home. And recently, unfortunately, one of them just recently passed. And guess what I just did? I sold that home that I got them into literally just a couple weeks ago. So, I mean, you can't, like,
it's amazing.
I mean, when you asked me the question, I'm like, I could sit here for the next 7 hours. But that just, talk about the opportunity to be at the arc of people's lives. I mean, getting them into a home, they moved here, now death, family dynamic. How do you get the garage cleaned out? How do you do all that when you're grieving and you've lost your love? So, I mean, if there's any agents out there that wonder the impact that they make or how important this work is, I would really challenge them to keep dipping into those stories because they're the real thing.
You got to remember them. I mean, we oftentimes will print out client surveys and think, gosh, this was such an amazing and meaningful experience for these folks. And credit to you, because it does, again, go back to what you were talking about in the beginning about making a connection.
Yeah.
And never dismissing somebody for whatever reasons. I just helped somebody with a double wide manufactured home and completely changed their life in terms of helping them get out of debt. And so to your credit, it's not just about the
not the dollar amount.
Exactly. It's about the experience, the relationships, and for them to come back to you. So congrats. It's great to think about. So looking ahead, as we plan, and you just went through your leadership planning session, what's going to keep you going over the next 12 months, 24 months? Is there a mindset? Is there something you're trying to think about? What's on the forefront of Kristine Milkovich to help keep you doing what you're doing? Is there something you can point to?
There is, and it's so creepy weird that you asked me to do this because this is yet the universe saying, Milkovich, get off your ass and go do that.
Love it.
So the answer is to keep sharpening my saw, stay relevant, relevant for my clients, relevant for what the market needs. But I'm going to share another piece because I think you're going to hold me to it. Is I have been leaning in deeper and deeper into my my speaking opportunities, being on panels, going into brokerages and teaching classes. How at this arc in my career can I start giving back in a slightly different way? And that's not meaning I'm getting out of sales. That's my career and I love it. But how can I keep growing as an individual? Because the more that I do that, I know I'll be better in sales. I know I'll be better at helping people buy and sell homes. But, being an advocate for the industry, being a coach, leader, being a trainer. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to show up or what that's going to look like, but I figure there's no better way to manifest and bring those things to you than to actually say them, breathe them, give them a definition. So that's some work that I'm really fired up about right now. It's
bringing our mindset to reality through action, through writing it down, even if it's just like a note you put on your mirror in the morning. And I have no doubt that you are going to continue to do that and will hold yourself because if anybody has a drive and a passion to do that, it's you. And it's not just about serving yourself, it's serving others. So being a leader, being able to coach,
being able to bring that information out to where it's needed.
And there's a lot of it out there.
I'm not sure what that's going to look like, but I'm going to just keep sharpening that saw and leading with that.
I'm so excited to see it.
This opportunity to chat about it.
Well, and that's what I'd love to do. And part of, again, this is about showcasing you and everything. And I think that this is just is one small part of it. And we're so grateful to have you because you have so much going on. And so I'd like to kind of shift into a bit of here at the All In with Jim DeMarco, we have developed a scientifically proven rapid fire questionnaire that now that we have learned a lot about you and your background, your history, your clients, what you do, your passions, Now we're going to kind of dive into this a little bit fun and
You're
really
going to look
peel
for
back the layers.
secrets. I love it.
We're going to get deep. It's going to be easy in the beginning, but we're going to go through this.
I'm
so
ready.
are you prepared to go through our All In with Jim rapid
I feel like
fire?
this is the Amazing Race or something. I'm so excited.
So we'll try to keep this really just
so no thinking. Is that what you're telling me?
You got to be right out the gate.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm reading a book on that right now. I think it's called like How Thinking Will Destroy Your Life or something. I'll screenshot it to you. So this is
like
good
I said,
for me.
it's science. This is science.
Don't think, just answer.
Yeah, I know that. And ChatGPT did not create this. This was created by us, by me.
You,
Yes.
the host. So
you know I'm from Buffalo, New York, and lovely upstate New York. We are passionate about our buffalo wings. So my first question I ask my guests are ranch or blue cheese?
Blue cheese. Done.
Winner. Thank you.
Don't even need to think about it. I will eat a trough of that right now if you bring it to the table.
Thank you. Not that my other guests were wrong, but they were.
I'm like, is this coming? This is really exciting.
Thank you. Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
There it is. Beach or mountains?
Mountains.
Yes, I think I knew that.
Ugh, skiing. Bring it on.
Okay. Dog or cat?
Dog.
Good, of course.
Sorry, kitty cats.
Professional sport. Any professional favorite sports?
Oh, God.
As we're having a beautiful lumen field behind us, so I like to ask
I'm just going to have to say, because of the party element, just the sheer joy and fun with Super Bowl and football. I mean, I couldn't tell you any of the rules or anything but football, just because it's such a fun game to watch.
Okay.
I know.
It's good.
I'm being
There's no right or
honest.
wrong. That's
I
it.
mean, bring me an IPA and a popcorn, and I'm
Love
in.
it.
So
You
yeah,
got it. Okay.
easy like that.
Morning person or night owl?
Morning person, 1,000%.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have
I'm
gotten
like,
some early texts from you.
oh
so
man, I
understand.
could like fall asleep at 8 p.m. if I could, but yeah.
A handwritten note or a gift?
Is that what I want to receive or what I want to give?
Closing gift for clients. What would you
handwritten or gift? Gift.
Okay, cool. Work whenever it calls or strict boundaries? I think I know the answer to this one.
Oh shit.
Come on.
Can you say it one more time?
Strict boundaries or work whenever it calls?
Right now, it's still work whenever it calls.
It's pretty common answer.
That's.
Now we're going to get in a little bit more deep here, so be
Okay.
prepared.
All
Most
right.
memorable home sale or buyer purchase? And again, this is a broad question. Don't feel like you have to have an exact one, but is there anyone that really kind of stands out?
Yes, it was a couple in West Seattle. It was year 2, and I won out of 32 offers.
Wow. Congrats. Being with the right agent obviously has a big impact on that.
Strategy. How can you outperform and out-strategize the other 31 offers and also respecting and honoring and protecting your buyer?
Love it.
That's that.
If you can change one thing about this business, what would it be?
The perception that the general population has about what we do 24/7.
Okay. We can go, that could be a whole different segment, but we're going to keep going rapid fire. What's the biggest risk you've taken?
Pivoting a 24-year tenured, proven career to start in a new career.
I kind of thought that was the one. Now, this one is near and dear to you because if you don't know, please check out Kristine Milkovich's podcast. And she has some amazing guests and some great content about superpowers.
Yeah.
So what's your podcast? Please feel free to share.
Well, thank you. That's so generous of you.
course.
So it is Superpower with Kristine Milkovich. You can find it on all the platforms and, the
Apple, Spotify.
Yeah, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. The ethos and why I was called to start a podcast is for one reason, and it's similar to what you're doing here, is to spotlight our local heroes. I mean, I think it's so easy to put heroism on everybody else. But if we really take a moment and look inward and think about every single day how much courage and bravery it is to do what we all do, whatever you're doing, to me, that is our superpower. So that's why I started a podcast, and that's the name. And I get to interview some really badass, super cool people.
She's got some really amazing. There was a pilot I think you had.
The third female pilot in the United States. Her name is Stephanie. phenomenal woman. Great episode.
Some great episodes. So check that out. And of course, that was my rapid fire. Completely got derailed. So
Sorry.
don't hold it against me. But that was important because
I always screw up the rules.
no,
You'll
because this
figure that out.
question, this was already in there, but I didn't make it specific to you. It's like, if you had a superpower, what would it be? Because you're so gracious telling everybody else what their superpowers are. I want to hear what yours is, Kristine, if you had one.
Tenacity.
Okay, love it.
I'm like a dog with a bone.
Just having endless energy, endless tenacity.
You know, and I know this is rapid fire, but you know, I'm living it. We all live it. It's never assumed to have energy. You know, the aging process, illness, you know, mental, physical, all of it. I have been so fortunate. I feel like I just am so gifted with passion and energy. And to me, that helps me have tenacity. And I'm just so grateful for it.
Yes.
Could change tomorrow. Never assumed. Could change tomorrow.
Well, after spending time with you today, I
can't say that enough.
Yes.
Never assumed. I never want to sound cocky when I say that. But right now, today, that is my superpower.
Love it. And lastly, one word that describes your mindset.
Curious.
Love it. So lastly, folks, here at the All In with Jim DeMarco featuring Kristine Milkovich, we have a closing question we like to ask all of our guests. And this one, again, speaking to what makes up All In, what makes you all in on your business. If you can share a sentence or two or what sums up what makes Kristine Milkovich all in.
You know, the desire to constantly be learning. I mean, it goes back to, you know, my answer about my superpower being curious. I think just at the fundamental core of who I am is seeking to understand, learning, growing. That is what allows me to be all in.
Love it.
I think that really helps me be all in.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
This was a blast.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks
thank you so much for your time. I appreciate
And I love
you.
your great coffee
Yes.
in your office.
And as we say, always do what you love. And I think that really sums up what we're doing here and who we're interviewing and showcasing. So thank you so much for your time, Kristine.
Thank you. I loved being here.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.